A few years ago, at a party, a close friend looked me straight in the eyes and said, "You know what your problem is? You're too comfortable being alone. And honestly, that's kind of sad." And the worst part? For a moment, I actually believed her. I drove home that night, replaying her words again and again. Maybe she was right. Maybe there was something quietly broken in me. Something that preferred a book over a bar, that found more peace in a silent apartment than in a crowded room full of noise. Maybe I was sad and just didn't know it yet. But here's what I found when I actually started digging into the psychology behind it. And I promise you, by the end of this, you'll never let anyone make you feel that way again. Because the truth isn't what either of us expected.
Number 1. Your brain isn't broken, it's running a different program. Here's where the story actually begins, inside your brain. Not your personality, not your childhood, your literal brain chemistry. Science shows that introverts and extroverts don't just behave differently, their brains process dopamine differently. Extroverts need constant external stimulation to feel that reward. Noise, people, movement. It feeds them. But your brain, it's already producing enough internally, which means that same party that energizes your extroverted friend is essentially overpaying for something your brain didn't need in the first place. By the time you get home, you aren't just tired, you are genuinely neurologically spent. So when you say, "I just need a quiet night," that isn't weakness talking. That is your brain giving you accurate information about what it needs to function. The problem was never that you preferred home. The problem was that nobody ever told you why, so you spent years apologizing for something that was never wrong to begin with. But the brain is only half the story, because what home actually does to you, that's where it gets really interesting. Number 2, the moment the door closes. I want you to think about a very specific moment, not your morning, not your commute, just the moment you close your front door at the end of the day. That sound, that click. For most people, it means nothing, but for you, something physically shifts in that moment. Your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, your breath, for the first time in hours, goes all the way down. That isn't just comfort. It's your nervous system finally standing down. All day, it's been fighting a quiet battle without telling you. Out there, you were managing everything, your expression, your words, your reactions, reading rooms, navigating moods, choosing every sentence carefully so it lands the right way. Most people don't even notice they're doing this, but if you're sensitive, you do it all the time, and it builds up silently. And then you get home. And it's not just that it feels good, it's that your body finally remembers it is safe.
And here's what happens to a mind that finally feels safe, something remarkable and completely unexpected.
Number 3, the quiet is where you don't disappear, you expand. Back in 1954, a neuroscientist named John C. Lilly created the world's first isolation tank, a dark, silent chamber filled with warm salt water. He expected people to feel fear, emptiness, maybe even panic. Instead, something extraordinary happened. Their minds exploded with creativity. Ideas surfaced they'd never had before. Problems they'd been stuck on for weeks dissolved in hours. Because the moment the external noise stopped, the internal world finally had room to speak. Your brain has a network called the default mode network. Scientists used to think it only activated when you were doing nothing. They were wrong. It activates when external demands stop, and it is responsible for your deepest creativity, your most important self-reflection, and your ability to solve complex problems. It cannot fully activate in a crowd. It cannot fully activate in noise.
It only works in the quiet you keep choosing. The same quiet everyone else keeps calling a waste of time. The greatest ideas in history were not born in meetings. They were born in silence, in solitude, in rooms exactly like yours, on evenings exactly like tonight. But here, right here, is where I have to tell you something uncomfortable. Because not everything about staying home is this beautiful.
Number 4. The question that changes everything. I need you to be completely honest with yourself for 60 seconds. Just 60 seconds. Ask yourself this and really sit with the answer. When you think about going out this weekend, what do you actually feel? Because there are two completely different answers hiding inside that question.
The first one is contentment, a quiet fullness, the genuine sense that what you have at home is enough, more than enough, and going out would actually be giving something up, not gaining something. The second one is relief, the feeling that you just narrowly avoided something, that going out felt heavy and impossible, and staying in is not a choice you're making, it's a collapse you're falling into. Contentment is a home, relief is a hiding place, and they can feel almost identical from the inside, which is exactly what makes this so easy to miss.
If you are living in contentment, this video is your permission slip. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the life you've built. But if what you recognized just now was relief, please hear this. That's not your personality. That's a pattern, and patterns can be changed. Talk to someone, a friend, a professional, someone who can help you make sure your home stays a sanctuary and doesn't quietly become. Now, for those of you who are genuinely, authentically at peace with who you are, here's the final thing I want you to understand about yourself.
Number 5. What they never saw in you. The friend who called me sad at that party, she needed 3 drinks to feel comfortable in her own skin that night. She needed the noise, the crowd, the constant movement, because without it, the quiet became too loud for her. I didn't need any of it. And that isn't something I say with arrogance. I say it because it took me years to understand what it actually means.
So tonight, close the door, light the candle, put on the show. Not because you're hiding, because you finally know exactly who you are. If this found you at the right moment, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because people with rich inner worlds, and that is exactly what you have, don't need the external world to fill them up, because they are already full. Their imagination is alive. Their inner voice is interesting to them. They can sit with a book, a thought, a piece of music, and find more depth in that hour than some people find in an entire weekend out.
That isn't emptiness. That is abundance. You were never the boring one in the room. You were the one whose most interesting life was happening somewhere nobody else could see. On the inside, in the quiet, in the space between the noise that everyone else needed to fill.
So let's go back to that party, that friend, that sentence that made me drive home in silence, wondering if I was broken. Here's what I know now. I wasn't broken. I wasn't sad. I wasn't missing out. I was just someone whose richest life has always happened in the quiet, and I hadn't yet learned to stop apologizing for it. And neither should you. So tonight, close the door, light the candle, put on the show. Not because you're hiding, because you finally know exactly who you are. If this found you at the right moment, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because